Hello guys and welcome to Series 11 of Criticalmeds Casts, the Path to Glory 2v2 tournament hosted by Bronzepanic. Today we've got Rat D versus Fish and Chips Krautz. So we've got Criticalmeds and Bruzer versus Welbizzle and Gloria. Let's get into it. Hello guys, welcome to Game 1 of Series 11. We do have Criticalmeds and Bruzer on the left in the green and teal. We have Gloria and Welbizzle right hand side in white and red. Welbizzle has moved his MCV. This map generally is a insta deploy in these two positions, but I would say an MCV move to this tree line is probably the best bet, especially in the north side. If you get your MCV here, you go power plant, barracks, ref, and you just get your refs pretty well then, without having to do too much crawling. But these positions you can auto deploy. Obviously do standard build and crawl. You see scouts now. Too much action going. Bruce playing very anti-scout defensive. Like Criticalmeds is going to get that grim pass, which is good. Especially in a GDI versus GDI situation, you do want to see what tech they're going to go for. It's also doing some slight harass to that hand and nod. Nothing major. He's trying to get the scout on Welbizzle. You see a bit of Gren fights going now. Criticalmeds getting a pretty lucky fight there. Get 2 Grenadiers for nothing. Grenadiers do have some RNG. They do one-shot the Grenadiers when they're stood up, but there's different values when they lay down. You see the 3 ref strip from both Nod players. We do see 4 ref from both GDI players. Bruzer now has his buggies out, so he can go do some slight harass, get these flamers out of the way. Criticalmeds has managed to drill his way a path to the MCV, and this buggy is there for support against any flamers. It looks like a dual attack, like pre-planned attack. Flamer's going to clear up those Grens. MCV's getting really low. Oh, he doesn't save it in time. He doesn't get the sell-off either, that's going to be massive. Yeah. He is going to be stuck on 3 ref 1 strip for the rest of the game, so he is on limited production and resources. You see, Gloria's opting for the 4 ref war factory, just the same as Criticalmeds. Feel like Bruzer can just sit back and play safe, ultimately just turret crawl into the strip, kill Welbizzle off. I do see Criticalmeds hasn't built anything for a while, so I can assume it's going to be a second war factory. Gloria is on 5 ref now. There's that second war factory. Criticalmeds has spotted that war factory, so he knows Gloria's got it. Welbizzle trying to do as much harassment as he can. These minigunners will do well if they're up at the front. Quite hard to micro buggers against minigunners when they're pushing into you like that. The minigunners obviously do a lot of damage close range. A very good bang for your buck, as one might say. Criticalmeds did get an Orca pad. He is still only on 4 ref. Doing some harassment, but he's going to lose these tanks if he don't get out. Gloria now on 6 ref. Gloria's going to try and go for that eco late game. Gloria is the type of player that will go mass refs. Very greedy player. You can't really let him get away with it. Do you see Welbizzle trying to dive into these war factories now? Oh, it's changed his mind. Oh, what Welbizzle wants to do here. Probably going to go for the MCV. Meanwhile, we do see slight bike harassment from Bruzer on those harvesters at the back of Gloria's base. You see the Orca coming in to help clear up those buggies. And then the MCV cell, so it is a 2 war factory 4 ref all in from Criticalmeds. Does look like Bruzer's going to manage to save that MCV, so Welbizzle's lost a lot of units to try and snipe the MCV. I think even had he got the chance to snipe it, it'd have been a double-edged sword. Bruzer would have been able to sell an on-2 strip, be able to outproduce Welbizzle at that point. These bikes still haven't been picked up by Glory by the looks of things. Criticalmeds is pushing in. He did engineer that barracks and he's built an engineer right next to those refineries. He has forced a cell. He's kept it alive. He's forced 2 cells of the refineries and he's got a cheeky 3rd engineer. Engineers can be a nightmare if you don't keep on top of them. We do see Welbizzle sniping that ref. Bruzer coming up to defend Criticalmeds now. The Criticalmeds is down to 3 ref, 2 war factory versus 4 ref PI. You see the push from Bruzer on Welbizzle now. He's trying to get rid of his strip, but he hasn't got enough. Welbizzle will defend that. Bruzer attacking through the middle now against Glory. Taking out his ref as well. So he has lost 4 refs in the past minute or so, so that will hinder his eco significantly. Bruzer opting to sell the MCV now. He knows he just needs to mass produce buggies to win versus Welbizzle now. You see him locking down this centre in a nice choke. Good concave for buggies, killing these Grens off. Criticalmeds getting to a critical amount of meds. Critical amount of mediums now. Meds opting to take out the production rather than any of the power. And we do see Glory doesn't have enough tanks to deal with this. So he's killing off enough of Bruzer's buggies in the meantime. Don't want to lose all his production. These are the only 2 barracks he's got left. Meanwhile, Welbizzle is just trying to sit there and defend himself. Done pretty well considering the eco disadvantage and the production disadvantage. That is the last barracks for Glory, so if he loses that, he's basically out. You see it go down, so it is just Welbizzle now in this game. Glory has just been gutted of all of his production, and as you can see, a lot of his base is left behind. We do see the double team now with the buggies and tanks against Welbizzle. There's not much he's going to be able to do against this type of army. It's pretty overwhelming at this point. Well, the game has sped up, but it looks like this is going to go 1-0 to Rat D. Well, we see the cheeky engineer coming in to get that strip as well just before the end of the game. That's game number 1 to Rat D. Bit one-sided because Welbizzle did unfortunately lose his MCV that early. So the momentum was lost from the Nod player, and then it was basically a 2v1 against Glory for a significant amount of time. And once Glory had fallen, Welbizzle was just there to pick off. So as you can see, Criticalmeds going for that 4 ref all in, so his resources weren't the best. Bruzer did have 5 refs, so he did mind the most. Glory did have a lot more refs, but he did lose a lot. The same for Welbizzle. Well, let's get him to game 2. Hello guys, welcome to game 2 of Series 10. Sorry, 11. I'm half awake. We do have Glory in the white, Welbizzle in the red again. I do believe that's Criticalmeds in the teal, Bruzer in green, top right. I feel like we've seen Zodiac in pretty much every series so far, so a lot of players will know this map quite well now. You obviously have your 4 paths, 2 through the middle, and then 2 on the outside. Red ridges generally turns into a 1v1 situation, unless you get some spicy strategies. We did see one in the last series with Defiant helping his teammate with a Gren squad in the back versus Burns infantry crawl, which was nice to see. It's nice to see a bit of synergy between players. I'm hoping to see a lot more and some wacky builds. There are some good builds you can do, because you can force capture your teammates' buildings. So you can see, obviously, Nod with GDI tech, or GDI with Nod tech. You could probably see GDI with Apaches if they so choose to do something like that. I think if a GDI and an Apache in a GDI versus GDI situation, they'd just wreak havoc. So it's definitely something to think about. We do see Criticalmeds is pushing into Welbizzle now. Welbizzle is over building flamers. They are reinforcing from a bit of a distance. We do just see the normal fight between the Nod and GDI, Apache killing Grens, and flamers playing defensive. Criticalmeds on 4F, Welbizzle on 3. We do see Bruzer's on 3F as well, but he did go for that Apache. And Gloria's gone for the 4F infantry build. 5F, so he's going to go for like a more infantry push now. He will have quite a lot of money in the next minute or so. Same as Criticalmeds. Criticalmeds has gone for the same 5F infantry build. He's obviously getting those extra production buildings to spend the money fast enough. We do see the strip is up for now, up for Welbizzle now, and he is on 4F. Criticalmeds is putting a lot of pressure on this strip. There's a lot of Grens and infantry. You see Glory just poking, prodding and poking. These buggers are a bit too much for a few Grens. You see the fight in the south still raging on. And you see a lot of those flamers fall to Grenadiers. But it looks like Criticalmeds might take that strip. If he does take this strip, Welbizzle's in a lot of trouble. But that was a good shot from the flamer. Oh, it's on red HP. Is he going to save it? Ooh! Oh! Look how low that is. Criticalmeds don't really have anything to deal with those buggers and flamers now. So he might be in a lot of trouble. We do see a dive from Bruzer to kill that war factory. Glory managed to get the cell on it. But look how low the HP that is. Bruzer now opting to bring his Apache in, but Apaches don't really do too much damage to the strip because they are armoured. So I think you need like 14 or 15 Apache to kill a strip, which is pretty insane. You see a nice little infantry push with a tank from Glory. He's prioritising that turret, which is good because it keeps his tank alive longer. Tank can do a lot of damage. Welbizzle now chipping away at Criticalmeds' infantry production. Perhaps spending a little bit too much time trying to go for these barracks. You see that tank being the front force for the Grenadiers now. The Grenadiers are going to get that ref. Pretty big. We do see Glory is on 6 ref as well. Here comes a dive from Bruzer while also defending the front. Criticalmeds does have the tank support now, so he's holding these buggies off. But it looks like Welbizzle's going to go for a dive. I think he's going to go for the war factory. We do see Bruzer now opting for this double barracks defensive position. It's very good to just hold off these Grens for now. We do see an engineer is going to get it. Ooh, he's not going to get it. Welbizzle is losing a lot of his buggies just trying to snipe this war factory, and I don't think he's going to get it. He has gone for a nice cheeky ref block though, that is good. Bruzer's starting to lose the fight against these Grenadiers now. You see him lose that Apache. One of the worst things for a Nod that, when you've invested in Apache and you lose it, it's very upsetting. Look at all these barracks, man, that's a lot of production. He has been forced to sell the MCV, so he's stuck on infantry production for now. Criticalmeds still only on the 1 war factory tech and 5 ref. This is where not repairing the strip is probably going to bite Welbizzle in the butt now. That's going to fall a lot faster to those tanks. He's just going to fly past the tanks and go straight for that MCV. We do see Glory pushing in now with these Grenadiers. Bruzer is doing the right thing and just keep building hand and nods, getting flamers to come out. They will generally trade a little bit better against chunked up Grenadiers like that. And Criticalmeds has just drove those tanks straight past, straight to the MCV, so Welbizzle doesn't have airstrip tech. But he did go comms, but unfortunately, not having the airstrip, he can't go flame tanks. We do see the MCV cell from both Bruzer and Criticalmeds. Bruzer's still trying to hold on. He could probably do with like an artillery or a light tank or something in this type of situation. Just help get rid of these Grens a little bit faster. Buggies are good, but they just don't kill them fast enough in this type of situation. Artillery will do a great job. Criticalmeds now sieging with Grenadiers in the front of the cannon nods. We do see a little task force taking out some of Gloria's infrastructure. A couple of Grens there as well. But this little squad of units has killed 2 refineries already. We do see Bruzer managing to hold on. Got enough buggies now to kill these Grenadiers off pretty fast. Criticalmeds is still sieging Welbizzle's flamers at the bottom. It looks like he's diverting the tanks towards Glory. This little force is still alive. It's been alive for a long time. And it looks like Glory's out of money. He put up a good fight against Bruzer. There was loads of Grens, but I think he lost a few too many to flamers, especially in chunks. We do see the Rocketmen take out that tank. So we see another little task force there, and another one here, ready to go for Glory. Was trying to stay in with just the flamers. We did see a cheeky engineer from Bruzer, but it didn't get into the building he was after. Flamers once again killing themselves. We have seen that a lot this tournament. Welbizzle gone. Glory's tapped out 2, so that's 2-0 to Criticalmeds and Bruzer. Take a look at the scoreboard. I didn't update the score because I'm an idiot. I'll update that now. So that's 2. And as you can see, both Criticalmeds and Glory did have high eco GDI play early game, so that obviously shows that there. Bruzer, not so high eco, but he did play very defensive and very well in that type of situation. Welbizzle doing the same. He was high eco and trying to defend. I think if Welbizzle had not put his strip forward, he could have probably took the game against Criticalmeds there. I mean, you can see just how much infantry was pushed at Bruzer 2 with the kill count. Get him to game 3, guys. Here we are in game 3. We have Glory in the bottom right. Welbizzle moving his MCV at the start. In the top right as red. Do believe this is Bruzer. Top left is teal. And Criticalmeds in the bottom left as the green. This is a very interesting position. We haven't really seen anything like this. I think he's opting to go for that Senate Tiberium. A ref will fit in there perfectly if he goes for it. We do see quite a lot of Grens from Criticalmeds. Just a few from Glory on the defensive. You only have to hold a few chokes or little areas. These Grenadiers. You see a little attack force coming down here. Does Glory know about this back door though? He does. He's going to send a Grenadier down. You see a second barracks from Glory. I feel like he's just got it in that choke just for defensive purposes. And he's opting for that free ref. We do see an interesting free ref from Welbizzle as well. Feel like he's taking the mid early so that this is going to be his 4th or 5th. You see these Grenadiers sneaking around the back from Criticalmeds. And we do see a 2 ref strip from Bruzer. And a 2 ref war factory from Criticalmeds. So there is a game plan already. Looks like they want to try and get this one out of the way quick. Got the Grenadiers on top of the MCV and there's nothing here to support it. Does get the sell on the MCV though. I feel like that was a bit of a mistake from Criticalmeds, but he has gone for another power plant. We do see Welbizzle option for that infantry. He did know Bruzer went for an earlier strip, so that infantry was probably just to get him to a point where he could get a strip as well. Gloria is now on 3 barracks 4 ref, so he can just pump Grens out like a madman. And I don't think Criticalmeds could really keep up with it. He has opted to go for the APC, so he has gone for the repair pad and sold it. Now loading that APC full of grenadiers. Bruzer just playing defensive. You know he's behind in eco, but he does have the 2 strip advantage. You see Glory really pushed in now with these grenadiers. It's something he must be doing. And obviously that extra harvester is using to squash Criticalmeds grenadiers. Bruzer now opting to come down and help Criticalmeds against these. But we do see those APCs racking up kills. They are paying for themselves. Fans of the original Tiberium Dawn Online will obviously love the APCs or the APC plate. They don't get used too much now. They were nerfed in the remaster due to APC and engineers being relatively broken. It did well for the community. They'd feel it ruined the game quite a lot online. So it did get a nerf. You used to be able to build APC without the repair pad, but I felt that was better for Nod rather than GDI. Nod could counter the APCs with buggies and bikes, where GDI can only counter them with tanks, and tanks couldn't keep up with them. You'd have to go for rocket men, and building rocket men, you just run out of money too fast. We do see the War Factory snipe from Welbizzle, so that's very smart, and he's going to get it. We see the ref block from Glory too. Bruzer's still trying to defend Criticalmeds. We see this flame tank push from Welbizzle. Going to go straight for the ref. Smart choice, because it will fall really fast to flame tanks. But just look how much units Bruzer has in this situation. He's been on 2 strip for a long time, and he's built quite an army. We do see Glory losing that harvester now. We do see a dive from Glory with the grenadiers and infantry. He's going to go for the MCV. If Criticalmeds lose that MCV, he's only got 1 barracks left. And we see Bruzer now coming to dive the opponent's eco after those flame tanks. Now goes another flame tank. It looks like Bruzer is just going for the straight up fight. Get rid of Welbizzle's army. Glory did force a sell of the MCV for Criticalmeds, but he did get a War Factory out just in time. Bruzer still applying pressure. Doesn't look like Welbizzle's going to be able to harvest in this main area now. Criticalmeds are opting for those Humvees. Humvees are better in this type of situation where you got to defend against this many Grens. They build faster, they're cheaper, and it's generally a better choice than building tanks. Just for survival anyway. Do you see Welbizzle going for a counter attack on this strip, and Bruzer isn't there to defend it. He is killing off Glory's infrastructure though. Bruzer did opt to sell that strip quite early as well. But he is finishing off the eco of Glory. Welbizzle did manage to get that second strip, but he's only on 2 ref economy. He does still have that comms, he could probably sell it. And Bruzer getting the snipe on the last ref of Gloria there. The Gloria will run out of money, but he does have a good chunk of infantry. We do see Criticalmeds now helping Bruzer in the north with those Humvees. Bruzer being an absolute menace. He's picked off like 6 or 7 refs this match. Gonna go for the last one. Meanwhile, Bruzer and Criticalmeds did defend that counter attack. So we have 2 Nod players with one ref. Criticalmeds on free ref and Glory, just with this infantry squad left now. We do see him using these harvesters just to harass while the Grenadiers get in and do the damage. Let's get that Humvee though. We do see Bruzer still going for that eco. I don't feel like he needs to, he could probably just take the fight. And he will just take that fight in the middle. Again, Welbizzle going for that counter attack with infantry and buggies. The minigunners have managed to get to the refinery, but it looks like Bruzer's going to use his harvesters defensively. There goes the last ref. So Welbizzle and Glory don't have a ref now between them. That's GG. So we'll go 3-0 to Criticalmeds and Bruzer, Rat D. Change that now. We'll have a look at the scoreboard. This is Gloria and Welbizzle's first match together, so they are great players, but I feel like they got very unlucky, and also not knowing the maps too well may have hindered them. Bruzer and Criticalmeds have played a lot of series so far, so they do have more experience. So you can obviously see that shine through there. The Criticalmeds with a lot of kills. I think the APCs made most of those kills. Obviously, Glory losing MCV earlier, not getting onto weapons tech. APC versus infantry is always going to be the same story. But that's it, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out. I'll be back with Series 12 soon. See you later. Goodbye.